So people want to know, people are asking questions. Is the ZSN Pro X an upgrade over the ZSN Pro? Is it better than the ZS-TX? Is it better than the KB Ear KS2? Let's find out. What's cracking, audio fans? It's David here from Prime Audio Reviews, and here we have the KZ ZSN Pro X. So the KZ overlords have decided to throw another IEM at us. Many of you will be familiar with the ZSN Pro, which was a huge success for the company. It's been one of the most popular reviews to this day on my website. There's obviously a lot of interest in the ZSN Pro X model as well. Now, before I get on to the physicalities, I'll talk about what's changed since the original model. Well, supposedly the dynamic driver has been improved. And if I remember correctly, the acoustic chamber and the placement of the balanced armature driver has changed. I don't recall whether it's the same BA that was in the original one or if they've upgraded the balanced armature driver as well. I'm not sure, but let's dig into it. Starting off with the price, these are currently around $20, which is you know, lunch money for a lot of people. Here they are. As you can see, these are quite pretty. They come in a couple of different colors. There's a few more colors available now. I don't remember what the other ones are at the moment, but I think this one will be the most popular, this gold version, and I gotta say, that's really pretty. For a $20 IEM, that is really pretty. So you got your nice gold faceplate there with the textured ridges on them, one small vent on the faceplate. Fairly standard in terms of build. You've got a fairly reasonably long aluminium nozzle there with the metal mesh cover. A nice ridge on the nozzle there to keep your ear tips securely in place. So if you're familiar with the ZSN Pro, the shells here are basically exactly the same, just with different colors. Internally there might be some changes, but I'm not entirely sure about that. But I'm here mainly to talk about the changes in the sound in this version, and we'll get to that in a moment. But for 20 bucks you get this gorgeous build quality, really solid. In terms of comfort, they're very comfortable, just like the original one was. I can wear these all day long without any issues whatsoever. Of course, it's always important to make sure you have the right ear tips in place. You'll notice here as well that the ZSN Pro X, just like the ZS-TX here, comes with the upgraded SPC cable or silver plated cable, which is nice to see because it just handles better than the old brown one here. Not perfect, but yeah, definitely it's nice to see that KZ seems to have made this the new default version or the default option for cables with their budget models. So just like the ZS-TX here, this is a $20 IEM. I'm not going to be super technical about this. I'm not going to be super critical about this. So take this review in the context of the price. This is a $20 IEM. If you are expecting, you know, class leading sound stage, bass and all that, just get a grip here, all right? This is a budget IEM, an ultra budget IEM almost. So just keep that in mind as this review is ongoing. Time to talk about the sound. And I'm going to compare these right away to the original ZSN Pro model. I don't know where it is at the moment. It's somewhere here, but I couldn't be bothered digging it out. But I can tell you, in terms of technicalities, this is definitely an upgrade over the previous model, particularly in the quality of the treble. The treble on these is much more even, it's much smoother. It is not as edgy or strident as the original one was. Having said that though, these are still a treble forward IEM, or perhaps even more so than the previous version. This is a fairly treble centric sound, what you're getting here. Compared to the old ZSN Pro, the bass has improved in quality. It's much more controlled, it's tighter, it's a little bit faster, it's less boomy, particularly, you know, the mid bass is less boomy. But at the same time, it doesn't have that sort of authority that the old one did. It doesn't have the same kind of extension. It has a smooth sub bass rumble, sort of a light rumble. It's all about control here, and it's also about bringing the mids forward, which is what this new version does. So the bass has improved in quality, but it's been reduced in quantity, and that in itself kind of has brought the mid-range a little bit more forward. At the same time, however, the treble on these is still lifted considerably. So this is a bright IEM, it has a bright presentation, and the treble for some people I feel will be quite edgy. But you know, where I feel this new version falls short of the original Pro is, yes, it is less V-shaped, the mids are more forward, but in order to do that, they've sort of attenuated the bass a little bit. And that was what made the old ZSN Pro so exciting. It was a very dynamic sound. It had that awesome sub bass presence. It would really sort of shake you. You could, you know, get shook from the bass on the ZSN Pro, and it just feels a little bit too tame with this iteration. And with this upgraded version, the bass just doesn't have the same impact as it did before, and that was a big part of what made the ZSN Pro so much fun. Yes, it was V-shaped, but it had a kick-ass bass. It had a lively treble as well, yes. The treble here has improved, but man, it really is kind of bright. That has its upsides as well, of course, especially when it comes to mid-range clarity. The mid-range on these is very clear. The vocals are very articulate. Some people will be happy that the mid-range is now more forward, but for me, this has lost some of the magic that the older version has. And that's a pretty subjective view. Like, technically, I would have to say that the ZSN Pro X here is an upgrade, just like KZ claimed. But for me, it's just lost some of the magic of the old one, and I don't enjoy it as much, as strange as that sounds. However, I will say that for $20, this is still a great IEM. It's a good entry level model. If you're just getting started in in-ear monitors and earphones, I'm sure you'll be happy with this. But as it stands, I think I prefer the ZST-X over this. The ZST-X mids aren't as forward. This is still more of that traditional KZ sort of V-shaped signature, but it just brings out the bass a little bit more. Also, the treble isn't as forward on these, which is good for me because I'm kind of treble sensitive as well, but they still have great clarity. They still are lively and energetic in the treble. The sound just feels a little bit more dynamic and a little bit more exciting to me. Here comes the KB Ear KS2, and I have to say, out of these three earphones, these babies are my favorite. And the number one reason is the bass extension. These have got some kick-ass bass, really, really nice. I mean, the sub bass on these goes deep. It'll rumble, it'll vibrate the earpieces, the shells in your ears. You can really feel that. It's a visceral kind of bass. But at the same time, you get awesome mid-range clarity, nice vocal articulation, pretty good instrument separation and resolution, and you get a nice lively treble that to my ears is smoother, Definitely smoother than the ZSN Pro X. Probably more on par with the ZSTX in terms of treble, but this has just got the bass that will keep me coming back to this. If I had to choose out of these three, it would definitely be this one. So I think that's about it for this video. I'm going to keep it kind of short because I've got a lot more videos to catch up on, a lot more reviews coming, and I'm sorry for the delay. I'm just really busy at the moment. But that is the ZSN Pro X. If you're a fan of the original, I don't know what to tell you really. Just listen to what I've said about the sound here and figure out for yourself whether this would be an improvement for you. Like if you found the bass too heavy on the original, then this one might just be perfect for you, because like I said, the bass has been toned down a little bit. It's more controlled. It's a little bit faster. It's less boomy. And the quality of the treble has improved significantly as well. It doesn't have that old Casey steely sound to it. It's a sweeter treble. It's a little bit wetter, and yeah, it's still a good IEM. But for me, the KBE KS2 is where it's at right now. If you liked this video, go ahead and give it a like, Parfam audiophile style. If you are new to the channel and you want to see more reviews like this in the future, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And until next time, I'll see you later.